What's going on, guys? Tony Ivanov here with another day trading video lesson, and today I'm going to talk about exactly how I went from being down $280 to being up $626.83 on the day. So I made a nice red to green move there. It took one trade in the morning on PRPO. It didn't work out. The way I took my entry was way too soon. My plan eventually worked, but just my entries made me take a loss on the trade. Stepped away from the market, went to the gym, came back a few hours later and saw BOXL drop its acquisition news. So I knew that that was going to be a very nice runner. Eventually found a nice dip buy area off of the 950 support and was able to sell this one all the way up at 1170. So made over $2 per share there. Very nice. Was able to recoup my losses and more. So I'm going to break down that trade and exactly how to play those. So we bring over this profit here to show you guys. 626.83. We also had one member in the chat room profit alongside with me. Here is Aston. Two good trades. He played IMTE in at 1771 out at 1901 and BOXL in an 830. So he hopped in right when he saw the news. He was smart and he got out at 1170. So he made a bunch of money and he got out at the same time I did. BOXL is squeezing up after hours. Now it's at $12. Should be a very nice runner today. So we'll break down those trades. Don't forget, guys, I do have a free Facebook group. It's called the Trade Buddy Community. You can join it completely for free. Link is down below. Over almost 4,500 members now. Hopefully we'll break that this week. I'm pretty sure we will. All I ask is that you answer 2 quick questions just so I can make sure that you're not a spammer or a robot. And then you'll be in the group. So check that out and say hello when you're in there. Alright everyone, so we're going to go over the trades of today. Like I said in the intro, I took one trade on PRPO. In the morning I bought, let's just bring up PRPO right now. So I bought into PRPO because they had very good earnings news. Their revenues were up 283% year after year. So this one was making a nice little pattern here during pre-market, and I identified this clear resistance at 52.20. And I said, okay, if we can dip back down to that level, I'll be willing to dip buy it off of that risk. So I got into this one way too early though. You can see the dip buy was down all the way at 52 cents, and I, for some reason, got into this at 57 cents. You can see some emotions there. Actually got executed at 0.565, bought 10,000 shares there. And this went up to 60 cents. It couldn't break over it. I kept on holding it though because I was looking for the bigger move up to 65 cents. Was just playing off my risk levels. My risk down here was at 54 cents just because I didn't want to risk all the way down to 52 because that'd be over a 10% loss there and I didn't want to risk that. But you can see eventually this did break down below my risk, so I did cut this loss. And then you can see it very clearly bounced off of that previous resistance that I pointed out. So I got in a bit too early on this trade, and I also learned a lot on this trade as well. So I'm going to go over those lessons in a second. But you can see we bounced off it twice, double bottom there, very nice. But then we spiked up and made another lower high. So this went up to 0.58, 58 cents. And, you know, if I got into this dip down here off of the previous resistance, which is now support, and I saw 3 lower highs in a row, I would have probably got out near this VWAP level just to make a nice 5 cent or 10% per share right there, 12% per share just about. But you can see this eventually it couldn't break out and it just broke down below 52 cents. So this was you know, not the best trade, but you know, if you did play off that dip, you would have made a nice 10%. So some things that I learned on this trade is that one, you really have to be patient on these dip buys. I keep saying to myself that I'm only going to play perfect plays, and while this was a perfect play, this was a perfect setup, how it dipped down to 52 cents, I didn't wait until that setup arose. I bought in early anticipating that setup, but the way I did it was kind of emotional, you know. I identified the support and I said, okay, that's going to be my risk level. But then once I saw this falling down, I just assumed that, you know, this level would hold, because right here, the 20 EMA, it looked like it was going to hold. So that's where I hopped in, cracked down immediately, bounced off of 54. And then, you know, it broke down below that. So some things to note is that if you are going to get in early, like prior to it retesting that support, because the thing about this type of setup is that these stocks don't always go all the way down to the support. You know, sometimes they hold up above the support and then they squeeze on up very higher. They break out a higher day and they keep on squeezing. So if you don't want to miss out on that opportunity, then what you can do is, you know, as you're approaching the level into the dips, you can make what's called a starter position. So this is really only beneficial to people who have larger accounts. But what you can do is you can add in small size, say 1/4 of your main size that you want to play. You buy 1/4 here, see what it does, and then when it dips back down lower, buy 1/4, and then once it finally gets down to that level of 52 cents, you know that, you know, if it goes any lower, then the play is done for, so you load up down here. And the reason why you would do that is because, like I said, whenever we see these type of plays arise where previous resistance becomes support, it doesn't always dip all the way back down to 52 cents. But this time it did, and you could have really just been patient and waited for that level. Also, what you can do is that you don't even take the trade if it doesn't dip all the way down. You could say that, okay, if it doesn't dip all the way down, it's not my perfect setup. So even if it does squeeze on higher, I'm not gonna have FOMO. I will only play setups that dip down to the previous support, because then it's obvious where the risk is and it's obvious, you know, how to play it. And that's what I think I'm gonna do from now on. I'm not gonna try to get into these early, but, you know, once I do see a play that is dipping down to the support, then I'm gonna jump in like a shark and I'm gonna really load up here and take my partial profits on the way up. So PRPO had some very nice dip buys. Overall, the play didn't work, but that's why we had BOXL squeezing on up today. So BOXL was another one that really was showing its strength. You can see a clear stair-step pattern here where previous resistance becomes support over and over and over again, especially right here off of this 1064 level, 1075 level. So this one had a squeeze in the morning, and the reason why this one squeezed up was because it was sympathy to IMTE. So IMTE and BOXL are very recent runners. They both had massive spikes on May 2nd. IMTE is the main spiker, and then BOXL was a sympathy play to it because of some filings. Doesn't really matter, but you can see IMTE was just grinding up all morning on low volume. Kind of hard to play this one though. There's no real dips, no real levels of support or resistance. This was just kind of a momentum play, squeezing up on low volume. You know, I believe this whole morning, let's see, only had around 500,000 shares traded in 2 hours, so it wasn't crazy volatile, and that's why I really didn't want to get into it. And then you can see it kept on getting halted, and finally it really just saw resistance up near $21, and it finally faded off. But you know, this is kind of recovering because of BOXL, so keep IMTE on watch, because with BOXL, you know, recovering and squeezing on up after hours, we could definitely see the same thing happen to IMTE. So BOXL, the morning action was purely because of IMTE, but then you can see right here, when we go to the 5-minute chart, you can see right here at 13 hours, so 1 p.m., massive explosion of volume. You can see the minute before this, only 6.21k shares. The minute after, we had 201,000 shares. Oh, no, 383,000 shares in the next 5 minutes. So this was when the news was dropped. Let me bring up the news real quick, just so I could show you guys exactly what it was. And when this news came out, us in the chat room, we weren't really too sure if this was bullish or bearish, because the news was definitely bullish because it's an acquisition. But one thing that we noticed while reading into the headline is that they acquired it by issuing shares, 257,000 shares at $7 per share, which was at a discount. So whenever you have something like that, you can't really predict if it's positive or negative. You kind of just have to see how the market reacts. And you can see the market reacted very positively to this. Had a very nice squeeze up from $8.21 all the way up to $10.77. Pulled back, held 950s very, very, very well. And then squeezed on up all the way up to $12.43. So just to illustrate where we played this one, it was off of this support here at 950. And the area that I got in was on this last dip here. I got in at, let me see where my alert is on my chat room just to show you guys. So here's the chat room alert. I said 5-minute flag setting up here on the BUXL. That was at 10:52 a.m. California time, so 1:52 p.m. Market time. Said good risk reward play, long BUXL with a stop at 949. Had 500 shares, like I said. Down here, I filled at 979, had 500 shares. So that was at 152. That was right here in this dip. Got filled 979, and I held this, with a risk of 949. So held through all this consolidation here. Never broke below 959. Nevertheless, 949. So that was very nice. And then you can see we had this nice U-shaped form, higher lows, and we squeezed up over high of day at 1084. Then we had a continued run higher up to 1239. So the way I played this was basically just using the 20 EMA as my stop. Once I was in at a very good position, I really wanted to just let this ride out. I knew how much potential this play in particular had, because if we look at the daily chart, this does have history of going all the way up to $17.40. So it definitely has room to run. And the day before that, it went up to almost $13.99, $14. So I knew that this had room to run. So I wanted to let this one ride out, and I just simply used the 20 EMA to say where my stop was. So until we broke over a high of day, my stop was always at 949. I didn't want to sell this at all. I didn't want to take any small profits prior to 1085 because my plan was based around the high of day breakout. So until we broke out of high of day, my risk was 949. As soon as we broke out of high of day, I then raised my stop up to 1075, the previous high of day. So no matter what, at that point, I would make $1 per share. As we kept grinding up, one thing I noticed is that we kept on having these quick little dips down to the 20 EMA, but every single time they held. So I said, okay, my risk is now going to be the 20 EMA. So as this thing grinded up, I just kept raising my stop 25 cents every single time. So $11, $11.25, $11.50, and then $11.75. And then we finally broke down right here, and I got filled at $11.62 on my sell. So, I could have sold it up here in the mid 12s, but you have no idea how high these can go. So I was willing to let this one ride out and really just let this one grow. I wasn't able to get the very top, but I definitely got the meat of the move. And just to do a quick calculation here for the percentages, I made 21% in 82 minutes, which is not bad at all. So very happy with that trade. Happy that I was able to go from red to 80 to green. What was it? $626.83. So that's my video lesson for today, guys. Make sure you keep an eye on BUXL tomorrow. Make sure you keep an eye on IMTE, because these are definitely going to be strong movers tomorrow. So that's it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscription. Leave a comment down below if you have any questions. I just want to remind you guys that I do have a lifetime mentorship program. You get lifetime access to my penny stock mastery course, lifetime access to the Trade Buddy Platinum live stream, and lifetime access to the Trade Buddy Silver chat room. So you can check it out on my website right here, tradebuddy.net/PSM, and you can see there's $100 off right now. The code is PSM100 off. So once again, the code is PSM100 off. You can see down there in the bottom left corner. If you want to take advantage of that, go right ahead and get that lifetime access, because you get lots of benefits from it. So hope you guys enjoyed this lesson, and I'll see you guys in the chat room tomorrow. Thank you.